So let us start into this lecture today. Yeah, so now we are into this lecture 4 out of it. So far we have discussed the architecture in the previous unit. Here we will be talking about the register organization, how well the registers are organized, placed, where they are placed, what is the role of each register, what is the purpose being that register plays in the particular area of the architecture. Okay, that is what we will be going to check. So as you can see, and I have told you that there are a total of 14 registers, 14 registers in 8086, out of which you can have a look about the 13 of them here, 4 as general purpose registers, AX, BX, CX, DX. Another 4 are segment registers, CS, DS, ES, SS. 4 is 8. Then we have 2 pointers, SP and BP, and we have it 2 index registers, SI and DI, and 1 instruction pointer. So 8 plus 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12, plus 1 is 13. And apart from these 13 registers, we have 1 flag register. Okay, 16-bit flag register is there. Obviously, in that 16-bit, we have only 9 active flag bits. So these 14 registers are there in the 8086. Out of these 14 registers, we have seen that 5 registers are the part of bus interface unit. They are in the bus interface unit, and those 5 registers are all your segment registers, CS, DS, ES, SS. Along with the segment registers, we have IP, instruction pointer, placed in the bus interface unit, and all the other registers are in the execution unit. As 8086 does not have a 20-bit register inside it, the address is actually placed or arranged in the form of logical address. Logical address is an arrangement in which you have your segment address 16-bit and offset address 16-bit, and you use that formula of segment address multiplied by 10h plus offset address to calculate your 20 bits of address location of your data or program instructions. So here the listing of all that categorization of registers here. So you can see general purpose registers are there. 4 of them are there: AX, BX, CX, DX. So you can see here that AX, BX, CX, DX. Here are the list of my registers categories. General purpose we have it, then pointer registers we have it. There are 2 pointer registers, base pointer and stack pointer. Then we have index registers, that is source index register, and destination index, that is SI and DI. Then we have instruction pointer IP. We have segment registers, 4 of them are there: CS, DS, ES, SS, and finally we are having our the flag register, the flag bits. These are the categorization for ease of understanding. Segment registers, okay, general purpose registers, pointer registers, index registers, instruction pointer, and flag. Even though the instruction pointer is also pointer register, but we name it separately because it does the job which is something different from others. The other pointer registers, SP and BP, are used for holding the offset address of data. Okay, data of the program, whereas this instruction pointer holds the offset address of the instructions of the program. Okay, generally a program contains instructions and data. These 2 things combinedly gives us the program, because when you are writing instructions, you are telling the processor to do something upon something. So what to do are called instructions. Upon what thing has to be done, that is called data. Okay, so you have to understand this one more clearly. Program is a set of instructions given to the processor to tell it what to do, and data is provided for the processor to tell it upon what it has to do that task. Okay, so it's about all the different registers here. Code segment register, used for holding the segment address of program instructions. Data segment registers, used for holding the offset address of the data. Stack segment register, used for holding, not offset address, sorry. Data segment registers are used for holding the segment address of the data, not the offset address, sorry for that. Stack segment register used for storing the segment address of stacked data, stacked memory in which the data is placed one upon other. Extra segment is similar and the kind of same as the data segment register. It also holds the address of the data which is randomly arranged just as your data segment. So it's a basically extended area for storing the data, where data segment of the memory is the normal area where the data has to be stored. This extra segment register or extra segment of memory is the extended area where the data can be stored. Instruction pointer, I have told you, for the logical address, one part is segment address which the segment register holds, other part is offset address which the offset type of registers hold. Offset type of registers are all here, that is instruction pointer is there, index register SIDI is there, pointer registers that is SP and BP is there, and in special cases BX is also there for holding the offset address. Now when this offset address is of the program instructions, okay, code, that time the instruction pointer register will be used. So it holds the offset address of program instructions and not the data. Okay, followed by this we are having the discussion of general purpose registers. Accumulator generally it acts as an collecting point after doing any arithmetic and logical operations. Basically here is the default location for the result to be hold. Default location for the result to be hold. Accumulator, it accumulates the result basically. Base register, it's a type of register in which the data can be stored normally, general purpose, and the special purpose is that in the different type of addressing modes, specifically the addressing modes where it is named as based addressing modes. So we have base addressing mode, base index addressing mode. Okay, in those cases, this register BX will also be used for holding the offset address of the data. These things will be clear to you when we discuss the addressing modes. Okay, we see go into the program structure, how the programs are written and how the data is accessed in the program. So there you will see different ways of accessing data. For a brief example I can give you, suppose if I want to have a communication with any one of you, I can call you directly by your name. Okay, this thing is you have understood in the C language. You can call the data by value. Call by value, and other way of calling the data is call by reference. So in call by value type of thing, directly you call the data by its value itself. So here that type of addressing is called immediate addressing mode. Okay, then we have call by reference in C language. So similar type of thing here is that when you call the data by its not the actual value, instead where it is located, its location, you use it for calling it that data into the program. That time in C language you call as reference, but here there are different terminologies that how the address is calculated. If the address is calculated in index registers, you call index addressing mode. If the address is hold into the offset address, obviously hold into the pointer registers or base type of registers, you call as that base addressing modes, and so on. Index addressing modes and base addressing modes are the more common of these two. Of the other type of call by reference type of calling in this assembly language. CX register is counter register. By default, it does counting operations. That means it counts that how many instruction bytes are executed so far. By default. Otherwise, you can use that one as general purpose register to hold the general data. Data register is again a general type of register only, but in some cases where suppose accumulation is not possible only in the AX register. Suppose multiplication operation, you are multiplying two 16-bit numbers. Multiplying 8-bit numbers will give you 16-bit result, but multiplying 16-bit numbers will give you 32-bit result. And job of accumulator is to hold the result, but the size is 16 bits, so it cannot hold the result which is 32 bits. In those cases, the DX will act as an extended hand to the accumulator. Okay, it gives an extension to the accumulator. So this also becomes a part of accumulator, where the lower result is stored into the AX register, higher result, lower and higher means the size 32 bits if it is there, 0th bit LSB to MSB 31st bit. In that one, 0 to 15 will be stored in AX register, 16 to 31 will be stored in DX register. Okay. Stack pointer and base pointer, pointer registers. They are used to point to the stacked type of data. Basically, these two are used for holding the offset address of stacked data. Okay, then we have this index registers SI and DI. SI and DI both are used for pointing to the random data. Okay, and in some exceptional cases of string manipulations, source index and destination index are very useful for indicating how the strings are manipulated. Where is the source of the string manipulation? Where is the destination of string manipulation? Especially in the case of string matching or comparison. It takes two different strings located at two different places. Source index points to the source of the string, source string, and DI register points to the destination string. And character by character, they will be matched and compared. So all the registers with their special functionalities you can see on this slide right now. You can see accumulator is there. It works as an accumulator for a 16-bit results to be hold of the arithmetic and logical operations. Then we have AL, the shorter version of the AX. AX is a complete 16-bit register, whereas AL is a 8-bit register. Then we have BX, CX, DX, SP, BP, SI, DI, all of them here. Flag register is there, bit 0 to bit 15. You can see bit 0 this side and bit 15 that side. Out of these 16 bits, we have only 9 active bits. Other 7 are inactive and different flags are there. So when we start from here, it is carry flag, parity flag, auxiliary carry flag, zero flag, sign flag. We have it. We have after sign flag, trap flag, interrupt flag, direction flag. These 3 bits, 8, 9, 10, they are the control flag bits. Out of the 9 active flag bits, 3, that is trap flag, bit number 8, 9th bit, that is interrupt flag, and bit number 10, direction flag. These 3 are the control flags. That means these are program accessible. You can put some 0 or 1 into it and you can control the action of processor. Okay, whereas other 6, okay, that is carry flag, parity flag, auxiliary flag, zero flag, sign flag, and lastly overflow flag. These 6 are status indicators. They just show what happened in the processor right now. Status flags they are called. So that is it for this particular lecture. Thank you. We'll see you in the next lecture.